Unprecedented praise from the critics has been given to his classes. All 10 of his 18-hole courses have received national or international rankings. Nobody else comes close to matching that record. According to the rule of averages, there must be one or two dudes in there. Not so though in Keiser World. They all also profit, which is another plus, much of it. Moreover, at fair costs. At any of the courses on the property, a second round is half off of the first round's pricing the same day. If you can, play the free third round of the day. The empire of this dreamer, which began with Bandon Dunes in Oregon, briefly included Barnbougle in Australia, then Cabot in Nova Scotia, and most recently Sand Valley in Wisconsin, has shaken the golf industry. Mike Keiser reinvented public golf as an escapism and immersive experience. He created vast sandboxes called layouts on the edges of continents where adults might unwind over the course of a week by playing 2 or even 3 rounds each day. It is a taxing but joyful sport and the ideal antidote to the anxiety of the 21st century. Keiser introduced Bounce Back to Course Architect's Toolkit. He persuaded us that playing golf in the wind and rain could be enjoyable, and made using caddies while walking the rule as opposed to the exception. The most astonishing thing about Keiser is that he only began building his collection of top-notch golf courses in his early 40s, after having achieved international success in a completely other field. Prior to developing a passion for golf, Keiser was the creative force behind recycled paper greetings, the 4th largest greeting card company in the country. The company was founded in Chicago on Earth Day in 1971 by Keiser, his wife Lindy, and Friedman, a roommate from college. And it was sold to a private equity fund for a whopping sum of money in 2005. Throughout his 2 professions, Keiser has excelled. In Buffalo, New York, Keiser played golf since he was a little child. He was the 6th or 7th guy on the Amherst, Mass. college team in the middle of the 1960s, and after moving to Chicago, he frequently played at Cog Hill, a public course with 18-hole courses. He claims that in the late 1970s, he picked up a copy of Golf Digest and learned about its list of the top 100 golf courses in the country. Keiser started looking for and playing the 100 greatest golf courses of all time in the early 1980s. Although he had the opportunity of playing a course that the majority of golfers would never see, Pine Valley really struck him. Nonetheless, he struggled with guilt over his privilege. In the late 1990s, Mike Keiser set out to construct his first 18-hole championship-caliber layout on the windswept cliffs of southwest Oregon with one goal in mind, which is to produce a genuine and unadulterated golfing experience that is reflective of the feelings one has when playing the renowned links courses in the United Kingdom and Ireland. Every golfer who has had the good fortune to play at Bandon Dunes Golf Resort since then can attest to Keiser's success on all fronts. When he and David McClay Kidd laid out the layout of the Bandon Dunes namesake first course roughly 25 years ago, Keiser was just as committed to honesty. Given the success of the resort, Keiser might easily claim to have had lofty ambitions for what Bandon Dunes would eventually develop into. If it did, no one could refute him either. At each golf resort he has imagined and subsequently built, Keiser has proven to have a Midas-like touch. Keiser, though, was equally enthralled with secluded Scottish and Irish golf courses like Royal Darnock and Ballybunion. With Bandon Dunes, Keiser also sought to demonstrate that a comparable playing experience could be offered 4,700 miles distant from those inspirational courses. Bandon, Oregon is no less remote, he reasoned, so he too made that attempt. If he was correct, golf games played in the Pacific Northwest might have the same effect on resort visitors that those Scottish and Irish games had on him. Everyone engaged in the project made an attempt to forecast the total number of rounds that would be played in Kidd's layout's first year as it got closer to completion in the first quarter of 1999. The hotel had to sell 10,000 rounds to break even. Keiser pleaded for them to make a profit. The resort wouldn't be that fortunate, according to other project participants. The start of the season and the arrival of reservations, however, allowed Keiser and the company to realize that sales would be well beyond even their most cautiously optimistic projections. At the conclusion of the year, the resort had seen about 25,000 rounds of golf. Knowing what sells is the best piece of business counsel Keiser can give anyone is that. Given the message's obviousness, it is so straightforward and unassuming that you might not even consider it counsel. Recycled Paper Greetings Incorporated, a greeting card business created in 1971 by Keiser and his college roommate Phil Friedman and eventually sold in 2005 for an estimated $250 million, was powered by such credence. In a typical greeting card display in a shop, hundreds of cards are available for purchase. In that setting, it's simple to view the cards as commodities. It's also simple to get into the idea that the greatest approach to ensure a sale and thus a profit is to stockpile as many goods as possible. Keiser claims that's what a lot of greeting card firms do. Different strategies were used by Keiser and Friedman. One of his cards was the top seller for him in any given store, while another failed to do so, according to Keiser. Finding the top 3 cards in every given store has become a science due to their efforts. He became aware of the ranking's potential because so many businesses failed to maintain records. By employing that tactic, Keiser discovered in 1975 that a comical birthday card with puns galore and cartoon depictions of a hippo, a bird, and 2 ewes was a bestseller. In order to ensure that retailers always have that specific card on hand, Keiser was aware that he could get in touch with Sandra Boynton, the creator of the card, to ask for similar cards that would probably be well liked by clients as well. Boynton claims the card has been in use virtually continuously since she initially designed it in 1975 and has revised the images 5 times. The card has been purchased in excess of 10 million copies to date. That same guiding philosophy was crucial when Keiser moved his focus to developing resorts and destination golf courses. Keiser knew what had been sold to him as an ardent golf traveler seeking out top-notch experiences throughout the years. Even though he hadn't yet had years of experience as a golf course developer to know what would sell to the public, he was aware of what appealed to him about. For instance, the Scottish Highlands Royal Darnach course was a place that felt far from modern life and was surrounded by breathtaking natural scenery. Homes rarely appeared in view when playing around at Royal Darnach. Playing through a residential neighborhood that has been extensively built was pointless. Additionally, players completed the course and played the game as intended, on foot. For Keiser, the idea of creating a top-notch golf resort outside New York City and Philadelphia is tantalizing, but the administrative challenges posed by such a project are simply too great. According to the research he's done, environmentalists who prefer things to stay the way they are opposed to building in New Jersey. He is too old to take on that battle. Now at 77 years old, one might assume that Keiser would be glad to sit down, put his feet up, and unwind a bit. After all, Bandon Dunes is now home to 5 championship-caliber golf courses, a 13-hole short course, and a 100,000-square-foot putting course. In contrast, Sand Valley in central Wisconsin, in the little town of Nakusa, offers 2 championship golf courses and a 17-hole short course. Keiser is also in charge of Barnbougle, a resort in Tasmania that features the 18-hole Dunes course, the 20-hole Lost Farm course, and a 14-hole short course. Additionally, Keiser is actively involved in the development of each of the 5 Cabot properties that are now under development. Keiser has always been an entrepreneur and a golf fanatic. Unbelievably, Bandon Dunes started as a scientific study of a golf resort, one built on 2 guiding principles. Keiser had played on many of the top golf courses in the world by the late 1990s, when the majority of them were the property of extremely elite private clubs and were closely guarded. When Keiser started his career in golf, he developed a genuine links course in Oregon, despite the advice of industry professionals. Golf has been reinvented at Bandon Dunes, which has become a popular destination for players worldwide. These same convictions have since led Keiser to design other highly regarded courses, including those in Wisconsin, Nova Scotia, Tasmania, and elsewhere. These courses' captivating aesthetics serve as examples of what the world's most talented golf course designers can create when they focus on creating layouts that complement the surrounding environment. He stays true to his guiding principle.